I have something I'd like to announce, by the way. But even though he rode the white pony hard, he lived to the ripe old age of 73 and was married 5 times.
That's not your script.
He is currently still dead at Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City, California.
Wow.
Huh?
That's for our other show.
Now, in case you were wondering, you know, Mike's other show, the horror, scary, whatever the hell it's called.
Scripted live comedy. Nobody else is doing that.
Huh?
Scripted live comedy.
This is scripted live internet comedy. You know, it's good stuff. Now, when is the super live horror stupid show on?
Super scary. There's no stupid in it. No.
Huh?
Super scary horror theater.
Right.
We just did it on Friday the 13th, where we watched Devil Bat. Right? Come on, Devil Bat. You're supposed to say something like, ooh.
Whoa, yeah. Devil Bats.
You don't like B
like a flying bat,
like
right?
That's fine. It's Vincent
Price,
right?
The devil actually possessed like a bat?
No, Bela Lugosi.
All right, so super scary horror theater. God, say that all the time. We watch B movies, and then we have Miss Dementia and her friends come in. It's like comedy sketches in between and fun with the crowd. And we sometimes will do tarot cards with the crowd, and we'll also play a game called Celebrity Death, Creepy or Natural.
This sounds
we
like
name a celebrity,
and
you say whether it's a creepy or natural death. Sonny Bono, creepy or natural
All right,
death.
you know what? No one cares about the show.
Well,
okay.
then you brought it up.
No one cares. All right, you know what they care about? Brent Simon, who's sitting in for Wayne Major this week. Brent Simon. Why are we not applauding for Brent Simon crew?
They were applauding.
You know, every week I say that's the best crew in the internet, yet here we have a guest host. No one cares.
No.
Brent Simon is here. No one cares. Here's the thing.
I care.
Wade, the rant monkey, is not here this week. Brent is not just a member of LAFCA. He is the president of LAFCA.
All that means is that I won the group arm wrestling and horse contest.
No, this is what it means. See, he's being modest. What happens is he's the one who has to wrangle 53 cats, 53 ornery critics into the various meetings we have every year, making sure we're all on the same page.
A lot of opinions.
A lot of opinions, right?
Yeah.
Now, we thought maybe instead of you, we would get Richard Schickel from Time Magazine.
I think that would be a good idea, quite frankly.
Now, Richard Schickel has never heard of the internet, so we can say whatever we want because he's not going to watch the show.
Well, he probably won't be watching the show, but we do know that he has heard of the internet because if I'm not mistaken, he's cursed out you via email. He's cursed out other members via email before. That's happened. Well,
the great thing about Schickel is that he is one of the country's really greatest critical minds. I mean, he's an amazing writer. That you cannot ever take that away from Schickel. He has written dozens of books. He's a great critic for Time Magazine for decades, but the guy is an ornery, crotchety old bastard. That's it. And I because I know he's not watching this. I remember once we were revamping the LAFCA website, and I solicited members to fill out a questionnaire with all sorts of information, like what was the first film you saw, name your formative film experience, what's your favorite movie, all the sort of stuff. Everybody is excited. They fill out their forms. They email it back to me. Schickel says, why would I fill out this fan-fealty crap? So really, there's Richard Schickel.
So we do not have that on the LAFCA website.
We do not have Schickel.
We don't have his answers.
We do not. However, we do have Brent. So Brent, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Woo. Glad to be here.
Now, Brent,
good times.
How many movies do you see a year?
Far too many.
Put a number on it.
I'd say between 300 and 400 for sure. You know, someone asked me recently, like, do you see a film every day? And I said no, but it probably averages out to about that because you know, some of the reviews I write are shorter, and then of course, as you well know, you see some stuff you just don't write a review for, but you feel like you have to catch. And then invariably, you're going to be like sitting around on your ass some night, and you're going to watch a Cuba Gooding Jr. direct-to-DVD movie. You don't know why, but it's going to happen.
See, that's what they don't tell you. You go, oh, you're a film critic. It must be so much fun. You see all these movies for free, and it's true. But you know what? We see 300 movies a year, and 2/3 of them star Rob Schneider.
Yeah, it seems that way.
It really does seem that way. You know?
Well, people say, like, you know, a lot of people seem excited at the prospect of saving money, which I can absolutely well understand. If you're going to spend $10, $12, $15 to go to see a movie, you're going to be pretty pissed and irritated if it's terrible. And so when people, I think, get excited hearing about what you and I do, it's because they say, wow, oh, do you have to pay to go see movies? No, we don't frequently, but we pay emotionally. So
we do pay emotionally. Although sometimes, although we do get paid to write about movies.
We do.
So really, we get paid to see movies. But somehow, I would take less money to see better movies.
To see better movies, sure.
Yes.
I think I would as well.
because we were talking before the show, and then we'll move on to Pirates of the Caribbean and Bridesmaids, but we were talking before about how the American studio system, in terms of the films that they crank out, they're all just increasingly dreadful. And this summer, it used to be, we were talking about this before the show, it used to be that over the course of a summer, there would be three, four tops, huge films.
Right.
And the studios, when they slotted their schedule, they would leave room.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like a train wreck. It's just a traffic jam. Every week this summer, there's another movie opening that's going to open in 3,000 theaters, and they can't all make $88 million.
Right.
No,
my rant is, as we said, if I had one message to deliver to studios, it would be this: stop thinking you have to compete with the video game industry, and that you're going to win those fans, and you're trying to, I guess, co-opt those fans. If you focus on creating a generation of film fans, not every movie is going to be the 150 million to 250 million huge worldwide smash, but what you're going to do is create a fan for life, so that one film doesn't hit, they're going to come back, though, and continue to see movies in their 20s and 30s, and yes, even when they have kids in their 40s and 50s, whatever. That's my rant.
Well, the problem is that you're a romantic.
Yes.
And that don't wash.
No.
Because these movies all just serve a corporate bottom line, and that's all there is to it.
It is sad.
It is sad. Now, by the way, I have to remind everybody, you got to go on iTunes and say nice things about us. Now, when we said that last time, a bunch of you guys went on iTunes. You gave a bunch of user comments. We totally appreciated it. Thank you, because we're trying to get the crew paid. Because these guys put in all sorts of hours every week to put on the show for you guys. And the iTunes nice comments, they tell sponsors that, hey, this show is good. These guys are worth spending money on. But keep going. Keep with the iTunes comments. I really appreciate that. Now, Mike has a very exciting, if Mike would just stop typing and pay attention to the goddamn show, he'd be able to say...
People in the chat room who have questions.
No, he'd be able to say something exciting about Roku.
You have fans.
Huh? I do?
In the chat, yeah, they like you a little bit.
No.
We're going to be on Roku. We're going to have our own app on Roku, which means you can easily find us. And in Stupid for Movies, there's going to be a nice little menu where you can watch full episodes or reviews or just buy, rent, or burn, so you can easily find what you want to watch. And we'll have like an affiliate thing with Roku, so you can buy a Roku through us and probably get some kind of discount. We'll set that all up in the next week or two.
Is Roku related to Pikachu at all, or no?
Totally no.
Different thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same mom.
Same mom.
Oh, look at that scandal. I had no idea.
Make a Pikachu reference? Wait.
That's right. In other words, Brent, welcome to the show. We love you, Brent. You're here. All right, so here's
this show down already.
Oh no, you've lifted us up. Okay, so we've introduced the Brent.
Yes.
I begged people for iTunes positive comments.
Yes, iTunes.
Mike has gone blah blah about the Roku.
Blah blah.
I don't understand what's going on. And that means there's one thing left to do, which is this weekend in movies.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Where's the graphic? We're gone for a week and Corey's woo.
Can I just say, in the chat room right now, Mark is cute, smiley face.
Wow.
Who said that?
Nice.
Wait, Major.
Nice.
Ludovica. I always want to say Ludovica, but it's not. It's Ludovica.
I don't know how you're pronouncing it.
Mark's mom, 44.
No, that might be a Clockwork Orange reference.
C-A-H.
That might be a
Is it
Clockwork
really?
Orange. Maybe,
Might
although
be.
you have to spell it, because the treatment that McDowell goes through in that film is the Ludovico treatment.
There you
Huh?
No.
It is. Look it up. Wikipedia that thing. While we talk about Pirates of the Caribbean 17,
Yes.
Corey's going to look that thing up. I'm telling you.
Yes.
So Pirates. Here's the thing with Pirates of the Caribbean. This is the new film. Maybe you've heard of it. It's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me tell you about the Pirates of the Caribbean films. I'm a big fan of Gore Verbinski. I think the guy's talented. Mouse Hunt liked it. The Weatherman liked it. The Mexican liked it. First Pirates, I liked it. I like Gore Verbinski. I really liked Rango. One of the best films I've seen so far this year. Won't be the best film of the year, but one of the best so far this year. So the first Pirates was quite nice and charming and whatever. Certainly better than a film based on a Disney ride would ever hope to be. Then you get the sequels. And the sequels, and I'm not the first person to have this opinion, the sequels were just plotted and confusing, and they were just weighted down by just all this story that no one really cared, and they just became this bloated, horrible corporate entertainment, and it just was terrible. And we really thought that after the third one, that'd be it. Well, it turns out that Disney, they have shareholders.
It turns out they like making money.
Yes, Disney, they have shareholders that they have to answer to. So they decided to make another one. So what they did was they got rid of Keira Knightley, they got rid of Orlando Bloom, and they replaced them. They still, of course, have Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, of course, plays the mincing, prancing Jack Sparrow. And in this film is actually based on another property. There is a book called On Stranger Tides, or what the hell it's called,
right.
Which is about the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah.
And in the film, Jack Sparrow goes on a search for the Fountain of Youth. Now, let's take a look at a clip, and then we'll talk more about it.
Jack Hassan's be all but run. Where's the harm in joining the winning side?
I understand everything. Except that wig.
Now, by the way, that was Richard Griffiths, the great Richard Griffiths, who had a cameo there as the king. Very, very funny. In the movie, Jack Sparrow is searching for the Fountain of Youth. There are two parties after the Fountain of Youth as well. One of them is Blackbeard, and Blackbeard's possibly daughter, played by Penelope Cruz, and also a bunch of Spaniards who show up at the end for some reason once they find the Fountain of Youth. So that's what the movie's about. Now, the problem with the film... Well, here's what's good about the film. I'll go positive first, and then Brent will tell you what he thinks. It's better than the third one. And it's better than the third one for a couple of reasons.
It's better than a punch in the eye, is what you're saying.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Blurb that.
Right.
Someone blurb that. It's better than the third one. It's also the shortest one of the bunch, which is great.
Yeah.
Because these films are all like 2.25 hours.
Yeah.
And it's all plot. That's 2.25 hours of plot. And
I don't know if it's plot so much as just more. I mean, like these things, they feel sort of like, you know, going to an all-you-can-eat dessert buffet. Like, and it's only desserts. You don't get anything else. It's just.
I'd be fine with that, by the way. I have to say.
At a certain point, though, you feel like you've reached critical mass, and you want nothing to do with them.
Well, you know what the issue is, and you're right. But the issue is also. And by the way, I didn't hate the film. I thought it was fine. If this film was the second film,
right,
I think that the trilogy might have had a little bit more respect.
People would have better feelings for it.
Yes,
sure.
But I do feel like the movie is sort of like that baseball team that's out of contention in August, and it's like everyone's getting paid, the fans are in the seats, you got to give them a show, so let's do something.
Yeah, that informs everything about the action. That's the problem. I mean, I agree with you that it's better than the third film, which I can't think of another series, maybe you can, but that has a greater chasm in the disparity of enjoyment from the first film to the sequels. I mean, maybe you could argue The Matrix, but at least there was still that big kick-ass scene in the second one. Like, the first one, I get, again, low expectations, maybe because it's based on a Disney ride or whatever. Utterly delighted, right? Really enjoyable. The second one, wow, did not like that at all. The third one, I became so bored. This is totally true. The press screening at the El Capitan, I was standing in the back row by the end of it because the film was like 2 hours and 45 minutes. I got in, you know, just before the screening began. I went up to the top row of the balcony, sat there. I became so bored that I stood just to have something to think about. That, for me, it was more interesting to stand and shift my weight and stretch than watch the completion of the film.
Whoa! That was live right there. Look at that.
Hey, look, we're live.
Wait, let's get a shot of that.
Yeah!
Wait a second. The light. Look at this.
That light did not like.
The light just fell. By the way, that could have fallen on somebody's head, may I say, and thank goodness it didn't. When I say somebody, I mean me.
Wow.
Look at that.
Good time.
It's live.
proof is in the pudding.
Really? Well, the show must go on as Jim fixes the light.
Look, I'm not going to say Wade was hanging out earlier in here, but
I can say the ghost of Wade. Wade really wants back on this show. You can tell, folks.
I don't know if that has something to do with
Brent's
my
first show. We got a
or...
viral video hit on our hands.
No. Here's the thing. If the light would have hit me in the head, that would have been on YouTube within 20 minutes. And by the way, we would have got a lot more viewers. Okay, Jim, what did you do with the light tower?
It's pretty much pointed at your head.
Yeah.
Would you like to do something better with the light? If it falls, it ain't falling on you.
If it falls again, it's going to be able to hit you in the head this time, though.
Why don't we, you know what, Mike? Here's the thing.
I would say,
why don't we just forget the aesthetic brilliance of this particular light tower and lay it down on its side?
Yeah, why don't we keep Mark safe?
Thank you. Lay it down on its side.
51 shows, that never happened.
It is true. We waited 51 shows
I thought
for someone
that thing
to
was going
die.
to fall on show 1, because these things are pretty shoddily built, but I thought it was like...
That is true. Thank you. Okay. So as the rest of the set is ruined by Jim, let's go ahead and keep talking about Pirates of the Caribbean.
Go ahead. Take Mark's camera. You can see what Jim's doing. There's Jim fixing things.
Yeah.
Oh, that shot looks horrible now. Put that back up now. Fix Brent's camera. Go back to the 2. There we go. All right, let's keep going.
Hey!
Okay.
So anyways, Pirates.
Yeah, what? Yes, yeah. Oh yes, Pirates. Okay, even Johnny Depp, you get the feeling that, not that he's mailing it in because he's a professional, we all love Johnny Depp, but it does have that roadshow feeling, like it's performance 675 of Rent, and they're all just trying to like just get through it and pretend they care.
They're getting by.
Yes.
And while cashing the page. And let's not, totally sell it short. I felt like there was some kind of charming banter and repartee between he and Penelope Cruz's character. There's a little bit of like functional delight in some of the set pieces.
Here's the 2 things I did like about it. Okay. I liked Ian McShane as Blackbeard. Ian McShane, of course, is from Deadwood, the cable show, and he's terrific as Blackbeard. There's also a very interesting and almost disturbing action scene involving mermaids. Now, if you thought you knew what mermaids were, wait till you see this film, because they are not the...
You didn't feel like you were watching Van Helsing outtakes during that scene?
No, it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was kind of gutsy what they did.
Different.
It was something different. So I really enjoyed that sequence with the mermaids, which is all we'll tell you.
Yeah.
Ian McShane I liked, the mermaids I liked. I really felt as if I didn't ask for this sequel.
Right.
I'm looking at it going, I didn't ask for you. Do I need to see this?
There's nothing essential about it, and that's the problem I have with it. That it's a film of diminishing returns while you're watching it, while it's immediately over, and while you think about it after the fact. Meaning, you don't think about it after the fact.
But the studio doesn't care.
No, they don't
It's going to open at $110 million.
It'll do big business,
and
for sure.
Disney will be like, oh my God, our quarterly profits will go up by a nickel, and the shareholders will be happy. And the fact that nobody will think about the film, nobody will like the film, it's irrelevant. It's just irrelevant.
It's, for me, there was a little bit of enjoyment, like I said, in some of the bits and pieces, but I have to tell you, like, to me, the characters felt like just poses, a collection of poses more than anything else. I mean, you have Captain Barbossa and Jack Sparrow, who you know, and then these new characters. Are they particularly well integrated at all? I didn't think so. I mean, I didn't have any particular strong feelings one way or another about, whether Penelope Cruz was telling the truth about her relationship with Blackbeard, or who's really going to get to the Fountain of Youth first, etc.
It doesn't matter. You know why?
The question. You're saying.
It doesn't matter because the ticket is already bought.
It is.
Disney has your money.
The cake is baked.
Well, that's all they want. I'm just saying, keep talking bad about Disney in another tower. I was going to say, just give your. I'd say we move on from this one because.
Actually, what I say is that Brent and I switch places.
Yeah. Well, he still has one.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
What would you give this movie?
Brent, you go first. Buy, rent, or burn.
It's a burn for me, but it's a small burn.
We actually have.
It's almost a rent, but not quite. It's a burn.
We actually do have a Brent, which we do have.
Yeah?
It's a special Brent. Yes.
Is that between?
No, there's Brent. No, show it again.
Hold on. It takes a second to redo.
It's a half burn, half rent.
Let's agree to disagree.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do have a Brent.
There we go.
But it's too late because you've already said burn. You can't take it back.
It's a burn.
It's the sanctity of the show.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. I will give it a rent, and I will give it a rent because even though there's a lot wrong with it, and I don't need to see any of these films ever again, it is better than the other ones. It is basically fine. It is still, again, soulless, bloated corporate entertainment, but as soulless, bloated corporate entertainment goes, I was not offended. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't at this point with Pirates of the Caribbean.
It keeps the the character impersonators on Hollywood Boulevard working, because there is a Jack Sparrow out there. I don't know whether the Orlando Bloom guy is still working it. I mean, he probably has to go,
But no, but after the movie, you tried to get an autograph from one of those guys.
No, we'll show the audience here because I happen to have the notebook, and I'll speak to this camera here. Sometimes when you go to the film, they give you press notes, which is just list of credits. So if in your review you need to point out that the Foley editing was terrible, then you can go down and you can find the guy's name and rip into him. And so this one actually has a nice color copy on the front of Mr. Jack Sparrow there. And we saw the film at the same screening, the El Capitan Theater here, historic El Cap in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard. And there are, as Mark well knows, impersonators who work the crowds, work the tourists. There's a Batman,
Spider-Man.
there's a Spider-Man, Superman. So there's a Jack Sparrow. And I was hoping he would be out there after the screening so I could ask him to sign my press notes. He was not there, though. There were two Spider-Mans, and I tried to get them to get into a fight, but it didn't work.
Actually, there's an interesting documentary about those guys.
There is. That's true.
It's called
Confessions of a
Confessions of a Superhero.
Yes.
It is a documentary about those guys who stand outside Grauman's Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood, and they get their picture taken with tourists.
And it's really interesting.
Because tourists are stupid.
So what we're saying, I think we can agree, is that you should go see that film instead of...
See that film instead of Pirates. Yeah. Okay, so there's Pirates of the Caribbean. Brent gives it a burn. I give it a rent.
Is it Caribbean or Caribbean?
It sucks is what it is.
Hey!
It depends.
Set him up, knock him down.
It depends on whether you ask Billy Ocean or not.
Nice.
Oh, Caribbean Queen.
Yeah.
By the way, Billy Ocean also did one of the worst songs ever. No, wait, did Billy Ocean do I'm Gonna Rock Down to
Electric Avenue? No, that's Eddie Grant.
Eddie Grant, yes. I hated that song. Burn that song. All right, so there's the Pirates. Now, Brent is going to talk about Bridesmaids.
Yes.
Because Brent is very much in touch with his feminine side.
I am, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Bridesmaids is the new film from Paul Feig and Kristen Wiig. Feig, excuse me.
Wait a second, Mike's about to go into the whole story now about how Mike knows Paul Feig.
We came up together. I know Feig. We're good friends with Gruber. You know Gruber. You know Feig. You know Feig. Paul Feig is friends of ours. We've known him for a long time, years. And I actually remember the first time back in 1997 when me, him, and Gruber, who's been on the show, were sitting down at a diner late at night in Burbank, and Feig was all excited because he was going to start his first movie ever, major movie, full length, and he was showing us the production scouting that he took pictures of. There's my little Paul Feig story.
There you go. There you go.
It was called Life Not Included, I believe it was called, or something like that.
And batteries not included.
Corey's going to look it up.
Spielberg produced film?
It was his first thing. And actually, what's his name was in it? The magician guy.
David Copperfield.
No.
Chris Angel.
No.
No.
The one who has the sidekick who doesn't speak and I can't think anymore.
Teller.
Thank you. Teller was in it. Penn was in it, actually. Penn Gillette. There you go. That's the Paul Feig story.
Will you look? We have a guest host.
We've been tweeting back and forth.
Mark, you have a connection though to Kristen Wiig.
I'll tell you. My story is better than Mike's story, so my story is worth waiting for, whereas Mike's story is bollocks.
Whoa.
So you tell bollocks.
Uncalled for.
Bollocks.
What? I'm just saying we all came up together and look at Feig and look at us.
Yeah, I know that's true. All right, so I will get to my
kidney pie demographic.
I will get to my Kristen Wiig story. It was very impressive. You'll all be impressed with me in a second. But Brent wants to talk about Bridesmaids. Go.
Yes.
It is a film, and it is about bridesmaids.
Hence the name.
Hence the name.
Look, he is a professional. Now it's clear.
No, I got to tell you, it is starring Kristen Wiig. She co-wrote the film with her writing partner on Saturday Night Live, or one of her writing partners, Annie Mumolo, I believe, which sounds like a fake name. But and it's about essentially a down-on-her-luck singleton whose best friend, played by Maya Rudolph, is getting married. So, as with many nuptials, a sort of oddball collection of friends and family are brought together to be her bridesmaids. So that probably sounds a little bit familiar to, say, The Hangover. But it's produced by Judd Apatow, so it has some of his comedic flavorings, and it is a very funny and interesting film.
But now we have
a clip now, and I believe this clip is going to be Kristen Wiig on a plane, behaving in a manner that would probably get you arrested upon landing.
It was on the real one. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, it's great. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so much more relaxed. Thank you, Helen. I just feel like I'm excited and I feel relaxed and I'm ready to party with the best of them. And I'm gonna go down to the river.
Wow, it looks like somebody's really relaxing now. Yeah, wow.
What are you guys talking about up here?
We're going to a restaurant tonight. I know the owner, so it's just
You
coming.
do? Oh, Helen is the owner.
So I have to say, I really found this movie very, very delightful. It's gotten a tremendous amount of buzz, and I think a lot of the buzz has had to do with the fact that it's a people were either sort of spinning it as the female version of The Hangover or the female version of Knocked Up or something like that. To me, one of the films that sort of echoed back to was 40-Year-Old Virgin, quite honestly, because it's sincere about the, I wouldn't say depression, but it's sincere about the hole that Kristen Wiig's character finds herself in. And it gives away nothing to say that she's gone through these struggles. She'd started a business, a bakery that has failed. And so she's sort of on her ass a little bit. And the film begins in a very, scatological isn't quite the right word, but it begins at a sort of raunchy context. And so you think it's going to be nothing more than kind of another, the female version of The Hangover. There's going to be bodily fluids going everywhere. John Hamm guests and gets to instruct Kristen Wiig to cup his balls. So that's an interesting way to start the movie. But I found it really sincere and interesting. And this sounds like a backhanded compliment. I don't mean that to be the case when I say that it is a movie that just happens to be about, it doesn't happen, rather it's not about women, excuse me, it just happens to feature female characters. Their sex is irrelevant. The title Bridesmaids may be a turnoff for, I don't know, certain guys, a certain subset of guys out there, but you shouldn't let that dissuade you from seeing this film because it's not like Bride Wars or 27 Dresses or any of those other terrible romantic comedy, just craptastic. Can I say craptastic?
Hygel-rific.
Piffle?
You can say shitty.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second.
I said it.
How come the guest host gets to swear and I never get to swear?
You can
Special
swear.
privilege?
I never swear.
What would you like to swear about?
I was told not to swear.
It's like none of those. It's like none of those films, quite frankly. It's
well, you know what's clever about what's clever about the way it's put together is that it's a film that it's an Apatow film that they can market to women who would normally not necessarily run to an Apatow film. Maybe they'd be dragged by their boyfriends.
Right.
Here is an Apatow film that the women feel safe to go to. And yet the men, because it's an Apatow thing and there'll be some raunchy humor, they'll feel safe going.
Yeah.
And as a result, it really overperformed. Nobody expected it to open this well, and it opened very well.
Mid-20s?
Yeah. I mean, it opened very, very well, way overperformed. And because they realize, again, some of this stuff is just so calculated. I'm not saying the movie's good or bad. I'm just saying that it's calculated. They go, if we can create the Apatow thing and market and target the Apatow thing to women, we can get both to go.
And I think, a colleague, Karina Longworth, who writes for the LA Weekly, that was kind of at the center of her criticism of the film. She felt like those two parts didn't gel at all, and I guess that was very cynically constructed. I feel the opposite. I mean, that stuff, to me, it works as a human relationship drama. I mean, Kristen Wiig, for people who've seen her on Saturday Night Live, she's a pip. She's excellent at sort of playing the sad center of a scene. She can locate the tears of a clown in a manner that doesn't suck all the oxygen, the comedic oxygen out of a scene. And that's what she does here. It really, really worked for me quite well. The interesting thing for me is that even though the film is all about these women, Chris O'Dowd is kind of a guy who really pops off the screen. He's like the male equivalent of the kind of ingenue or love interest that you see in some more guy-oriented comedy, and you're like, wow, who's that? And then, you don't tell your girlfriend, but you go home and you Google image search her. He plays Kristen Wiig's love interest in the film, and he's amazing. Has an Irish accent. I don't know if he's Irish in real life. The film is set in Milwaukee.
So are you saying it was a poorly done Irish accent, or was it
no, it's a light accent. Oh, okay. Yeah, you feel like he's a second-generation Irishman or something. And he's
that's how they wrote it.
Right. He's a real delight. A lot of fun, that guy. So you as with I think a lot of the Apatow films, you see it, and you find that it's delightfully well cast in the supporting.
Well, that's the thing with
well.
the Apatow films. I mean, I'm not an Apatow fan, right? I'm not a stoner comedy guy. Feig is not at all, though. Mm-hmm. That's the big difference. Feig was really, when I was, talking to him when he created Freaks and Geeks. That's right. I'll name drop again.
Yeah.
He was looking for a writer, and I talked to him about being a writer, but they wanted female writers because he develops very female-centric characters always. Linda Cardellini was obviously the star of that show, and it was all based around her. So Feig has always had that. So that's why it's always interesting when they kind of gel together. And this show, this movie has huge buzz. Yeah. I don't remember a movie recently that has this much buzz, and we don't really talk about box office, but I think you're definitely not going to see it drop off. I think you're going to see it climb, obviously.
Climb, or just a really minimal drop off.
And is it just for comedy reasons why it has so much buzz, do you think?
Well, the thing is that as we were saying before, it hits demos that these films usually don't hit, whereas it targets women, but men feel safe to go.
Yeah,
right.
I'm seeing
there's
a lot
also
of that.
when distributors slot these films in, they try to make sure that there's nothing around it that will compete with it. Right. And what else is out right now that is like this?
Yeah.
Nothing. So if you want to see a comedy, there's really only one place to go.
And and then I'll say this, obviously through Twitter and everything, I always follow that, and every female I know who saw it both on Twitter and Facebook was like, this empowers women, this shows we can be funny and can be good looking, and you don't have to be an ugly guy to be funny.
Right.
Well,
so
let's not overstep our bounds.
I don't know that it
that's all we have.
I don't know that it empowers.
That's all us ugly guys have. Exactly. Don't take it from us, pretty ladies.
But I argued that point only because, to me, it doesn't empower women. It only empowers, good writing. You know what I mean? And actual characters. That's what it empowers. Yep. And it shows that, again, if it's a backhanded compliment or some people misunderstand it, so be it. It's irrelevant that these are females or even bridesmaids or even females. It's just, it really defines the characters really well. Special shout out to Rose Byrne, who plays, she's a new friend of Maya Rudolph's character who's getting married. And so there's this dynamic between Rose Byrne's character and Kristen Wiig, where there's a competition. They're worrying about, there's the new friend and the old friend, and you get a sense, a very smart, well-sketched sense of Kristen Wiig holding on to that friendship because she's already lost her business. She's lost her professional identity and sense of self, and this friendship is the oldest and strongest bond that she has, and now she senses that slipping away as well, and that informs this mania in all her behavior. So it's really well done, and I think, again, I can't recommend it highly enough.
So you're giving it a?
I'm giving it a buy.
Oh,
I'm giving it a buy.
Can I tell my Kristen Wiig story, please?
Do it quickly again, and we have to go to the news.
Okay, here I am 1%. What am I here? I am 1% responsible for Kristen Wiig being famous because I cast her on a show, huh?
1%?
Yes, I had an overall deal with Stone Stanley Entertainment, which is no longer around. And my first job for this overall deal was to cast and create. I handed it off and didn't actually do the show, but I had to cast and create the storyline for a reality show called Joe Schmo's, the Joe Schmo Show, which wound up on Spike.
Yeah.
And so there were 10 comedy characters who I had to cast. The casting director, who I had hired, was a huge fan of this one woman. She's like, this is like in 2004 or something like that, 2003. She's like, I'm a huge fan of this one woman. I bring her in every time I'm asked to bring in funny women. You've got to meet this girl, Kristen Wiig. She's super funny. So in the casting, it's
the casting director who deserves the credit. Then is what you're saying?
Oh yeah, no, she totally brought him in. But here's the thing, because I was the executive producer, we brought in a bunch of people. Read Kristen Wiig. I thought two things. One is I thought she had a little crush on her. I did.
Yeah.
Come on, 2003. I had a crush on her, a little tiny crush on her. And also I said we have to hire this woman because she's fantastic. And so because I was the executive producer, Brent.
Yeah.
I could have said she's not funny.
I'm just saying,
and she would not have been on this show.
Yeah, fine. I'm just saying you should rejigger the story.
Yes,
Mark.
host.
I'm just saying you should rejigger the story So you had to fight the casting director tooth and nail. That's
the
what all I'm
casting
saying.
director hated Kristen, said she's a
That's
hack.
better.
And
That's
I said,
better.
no, this girl's got something.
That's better.
I sense it here.
Yes.
And here.
And it ended with it ended with you punching a female casting director.
It really, yeah, and I punched Kristen too. Anyway, so she was fantastic, and we cast her on the show, and because of that, she got a lot of heat, and she wound up on SNL after that.
There you go.
So that's why I say I'm 1% responsible for Kristen Wiig being famous. Thank you.
Totally call her.
And scene. Oh, I thought she was cute.
You should totally at her on Twitter.
I told the casting director, I said I thought she was
I'm saying call her now.
Yeah.
No.
Be like, I was responsible.
Get that 1% back.
Why would she remember me?
Get that 1% back.
That's what I'm saying. Let's move on to the news.
Okay, what we should do now is we should move on to the news.
Yeah.
News,
It's
yeah.
only official when Mark says it.
Huh?
It's only official when you say it.
Yes, because I'm the freaking
I
host.
say
You're
it,
just the
nothing happens.
producer.
I say it, and Emily just sits there on TriCaster, won't touch a button until Mark says it. Oh, he's back.
He gets no respect. Chad? Hi,
Wait,
Chad.
hold on. Now we have sound issues. Oh, it's just going great today.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hey!
Oh,
There he is.
Chad Vader. What's cooking there, Chadsky?
Oh, everything's going great. I hope everything's going well with you. And oh my
Oh,
God!
wow. Wow.
Fell down.
Technical issues abound.
Hey, come on. You know what? I'll be honest. Too soon for that joke. Too soon. It still hurts, man.
I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't a joke. That was a mishap.
Are you okay? Wow.
Okay.
Look at that.
Helmet.
Hope you're insured down there at the Empire Market.
You need a helmet.
You know what? Do you have a spare helmet?
Yeah,
You can
Chad has
send
the
me?
helmet.
I do.
All right, what's happening down there? What's the news?
There's so much news. Here it all is right now. It looks like there will be yet another sequel to the Amityville Horror. This one, called Amityville Horror: The Lost Tapes, will have a found footage plot that is quite similar to the Paranormal Activity movies. It's no surprise that Paranormal Activity's own Jason Blum is attached to produce. Bob and Harvey Weinstein will executive produce. Harvey Weinstein could not be reached for comment as he was busy peeling a flattened Junior Mint off of a tire.
Yeah.
Now,
I have to first clarify, you did say Amityville Horror, not Amityville Horror, right?
Ooh, the Amityville Horror.
That would be a sequel I would be interested in, perhaps, but...
The Amityville Horror can fall on my head, I'll tell you that much, buddy. Oh, good night, everyone. All right, it's getting weirder by the moment. You know, when I read this story, I was interested in it because of the found footage concept.
Right.
And the reason why that interested me was because it is such a cop-out. Okay, found footage is, first of all, it's cheap.
Well, I was going to say, let me translate cop-out. Cop-out means way too tamped down production costs.
Yes.
That's all it means.
Oh, look,
That's what it means.
here's the camera.
Yeah.
And there's a bed over there.
Yeah.
And then the ghosts come.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the movie costs $1.98.
Sure.
So it's cheap, and it's all hip because that's what Paranormal Activities did, and that it goes all the way back to the Blair Witch thing, whatever,
Yeah.
all that sort of cheap found crap.
What I don't... It remains to be seen whether this can be successfully translated. This concept can be successfully translated or imposed, I guess, upon another franchise like Amityville Horror, to the extent that the public is really clamoring for another sequel to that. But people forget, Paranormal Activity, a huge part of its success had to do with the viral marketing of that and how it was, in fact, the studio sort of distanced themselves from the fact that it was a studio film. They created this whole campaign where it was demand it in your area. Well, it was already predetermined where this film was going to be releasing, and it was platforming and everything else. But they did these word of mouth screenings, and they drummed up support, and then it became like a viral sensation when all that stuff was already baked into the cake. You can't do that with a lot of other bigger budget studio films. So I don't know where that leaves you.
But what they're doing is they're trading in that the discovery factor,
right,
with the fact that it is a recognizable, marketable, pre-existing franchise.
Right.
So they're sort of swapping one for the other.
Right.
They're hoping people say, "Oh, I want to see the new Amityville Horror film."
Right.
Which of course is crazy because we've talked about this before. The Amityville Horror, that's like mom and dad's book,
but did you see
movie.
Did you see the remake with Ryan Reynolds and Melissa George?
Yes, it was terrible. I mean, who needs that?
It was marginally successful and interesting at what it tried, right? I mean, it had Rachel Nichols as the hot babysitter.
But you don't even need. But you don't even need
remember
Amityville
that.
horror for.
Let's be honest.
You don't need Amityville horror for that. It's just a hook.
No, you don't. But of course, the studios could do the same concept. They could probably use the same freaking script and just change the title, right? But they don't want to do that because, as you said, they just want to exploit a existing property.
All right,
Darth. Yeah.
Chad, are you falling asleep? This is exciting crap.
I almost did.
Well, wake
I
up.
hit pretty hard on the head.
What? All right, then fine. Go to the next story. See if I care.
The rights to make the next 2 Terminator movies have been won at auction, not by Lionsgate, as previously thought, but by Oracle heiress Megan Ellison. This is generally seen as good news, since Ellison's company, Annapurna Films, has so far financed decent prestige films like True Grit, The Wettest Country in the World, and Paul Thomas Anderson's upcoming Scientology film, The Master. So there's a good chance the next 2 Terminator films won't suck. I reached Arnold Schwarzenegger for comment, and he had this to say about the upcoming films, and I quote, "Go now, get to the chopper, get to the chopper," unquote. I don't know what the hell that meant, and I was scared, so I hung up the phone.
Yeah, that's probably good.
You know that, you know who that woman is? That's Larry Ellison's daughter.
I did not know that.
That is Larry Ellison's daughter from that company. And it's an interesting story because she does, like Chad was saying, she does those high prestige films. She definitely has a loftier taste. So I don't know if she thought of this as just being just a pure money play.
Sure.
Look, she's got to make money somehow. Yeah. She's not going to make money off of I mean, P.T. Anderson's like a genius. I love P.T. But she's not going to make a lot of money off that movie. Right. But she'll make money off of something like The Terminator. Right. It can bankroll her.
Oh, for sure. I think so. I mean, even, the last 2, I think they were met with somewhat muted fan response, right? But they did huge business overseas, 250 plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, both of those films, it is at a point where, as with many other sort of aging franchises, they do about 2/3 of their business overseas. So it's a money play. And yeah, if you have the rights to make 2, and in fact, you're going to make 2 going in, maybe you can have a story that stretches out over 2, maybe that increases your yield. I can't believe I just used the word yield, but
you know what? Use all the municipal sign, stop, yield,
slow children.
Use them all into the show. Okay. It's fantastic. Yeah. Lionsgate was also bidding on this, and you know what? I'm glad Lionsgate didn't get it because Lionsgate, I'm starting to sour on them a little bit because I feel like they were super cool.
Medea. Sorry.
It's true. Yeah. They were super cool for like a decade. They're like, oh my God, this great mini major. They're so interesting. Now it's like the Medea films and it's the new Conan the Barbarian. They're not.
I love Lionsgate.
Huh? I love Lionsgate too for like 10 years.
They're the greatest thing ever. Moving on.
Mike looks like he's going to fight you.
Well, because Lionsgate might be giving us money. But the thing is that, I think for something like this, I think that, I hope that this woman, Larry Ellison's daughter, is going to honor the material.
There you go.
The thing too is that she's got to make and then we'll get on to Chad because Chad's going to fall asleep in a second. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe she has to make the movie by 2018 or rights revert back to Cameron. I was reading that's the story.
There you go.
So she's got to make it by 2018, which I mean they can make 2 films by 2018.
You're on notice, Larry Ellison's daughter.
Yeah, make 2 films and don't make them suck. All right, Chad, what you got for us next? Here we go.
Well, I've decided to start a new feature here on the news called This Week in Katherine Heigl.
Yeah.
Where I talk about the various goings and doings of the famous actress and Mark's favorite punching bag. This Week in Katherine Heigl, or as I will refer to her henceforth, K-High, finds her attached to star in a new indie comedy called Gently Down the Stream, alongside Hollywood legends Robert De Niro and Diane Keaton. Amanda Seyfried and her big buggy eyes will also appear in this turn.
It's true.
Will K-High be able to bring the magic? Will De Niro and Keaton stop slumming around and finally do some good movies? When will Amanda Seyfried stop staring at me? I don't know. I just don't know.
May it
This
never
feature
happen.
wasn't as informative or interesting as I wanted it to be. I'll keep workshopping it.
Nice. Nice.
Keep working on it there, buddy. Okay, now here's the thing. I have 2 words to explain
Okay.
why Robert De Niro is in this film.
Okay.
Avi Lerner.
Yeah, there you
Now,
go.
for some reason,
Yeah.
De Niro, who has blown whatever legacy, credibility he ever had, I'm telling you, he loves these Avi Lerner films. Avi Lerner, because here's what Avi Lerner, and Avi Lerner, who runs New Image and Millennium, he's the guy who will literally, he will send a celebrity, a star, a script, right? He'll send him a script.
Yeah.
And on a Post-it, on the script, he will have like $3 million. He'll write that on the script.
Have you gotten one of these scripts from him?
Yes, mine says 3 cents.
Ah.
Mine says 3 million lira.
Nice.
But the thing is that's how this guy operates.
Yeah.
All he does is he offers, he's a packager.
He had his hands in, his fingers in the Righteous Kill pie, right?
Yeah, no, he was Righteous Kill, and that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
De Niro knows him, And it's
Yeah,
just, for some reason, De Niro loves this guy, and the guy just does terrible
They're packagers.
films.
Yeah.
They're packagers. He can pre-sell the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Right? So that by the time it's rolling, he's got all his money ready.
Yeah.
Right? And he can do a crappy movie. De Niro gets his rate.
Yeah.
And Dan Keaton gets her rate.
There's a couple other producers like that. I mean, Elie Samaha is another one who, when you
right.
see the name on the credit, even if you don't pay attention to producers, if you're more than a casual film fan, if you see these names, it's a buyer beware.
Yeah. It's
know what you're getting into.
Avi Lerner and
Yeah.
Elie Samaha are the 2 biggies.
Yeah.
And if you get De Niro, because you're paying him X millions of dollars, and you get Diane Keaton, you think Catherine piece of crap Heigl, even she is not clueless enough, right? That she's going to say, "Oh, I don't want to be in a movie with De Niro." She should kiss
Friend
the
of the
feet.
show.
She should kiss the feet of every crew member that she gets to even share oxygen with De Niro.
Yeah.
Even the De Niro of 2011.
I mean, you're right. I think you're right about De Niro's participation, but even more telling, I think I forget the gentleman's name, but this is from the writer of Bucket List.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's kind of telling too. I mean, Bucket List was a big commercial success, but I found it kind of a really sort of pedestrian treatment, maudlin, kind of sentimental film of what could have been a more interesting concept.
I agree. It's with Nicholson and Morgan Freeman.
And Morgan Freeman, yeah. And so I don't, when I see the cast and I hear his involvement and I read a log line, that doesn't elicit much excitement in me.
No, it really doesn't. Very few De Niro films really are interesting to me.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Unless it has parents in the title.
No, actually now that's even worse. Why is everybody staring at me?
Wait, hold up. Corey passes me a note going, Mark's, exact note is, Mark's notes look like Diary of a Serial Killer. Hold up your notes on the back of them.
That looks like something they would find.
Wow.
May I tell you why my notes look like this? Let me tell you why my notes look like this. Before the show.
Because you're writing with the wrong hand?
No. No. It's a very serious story. Before the show, right before I leave my office to come here to the streaming garage, I print out the rundown that Mike creates. Now the printer at my office is broken, so I could not print the rundown. So I email Mike and I say, "Can you please print out the rundown?"
Your multinational conglomerate company couldn't, have more than one printer in the entire 4 floors of the company?
No, we do, but I'm just saying that I was about to walk out the door, and I say, "Hey, Mike, do you mind printing out the rundown?"
I didn't see that till... I forgot Chad was... Chad, do you have a printer you can print this out for Mark?
I'll do anything to stop this story from happening.
Oh no, this is interesting stuff, Chad. Come on, sponsors, this is what you get. This is interesting stuff.
Yes, I saw it last minute because we're a little busy before, and then it turns out my printer was out of ink. Wow, what a story!
So this is what you get. You get
That's
that.
Amazing.
That's what you get. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
All right, Chad. Thanks, Chad Vader, everybody.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you. No.
Oh, whoa! That's unfortunate.
Oh, I shouldn't be laughing at all. Why am I laughing? Thanks. Wait, he's still down.
I don't think he's getting up. We should just cut over.
Hold on, let's take a peek. He's gone. Wait, somebody call 911.
We need that card that says technical difficulties. Please stand by.
I think we have the video now of Chad sort of falling down.
Exploding, Corey said.
All right. Thank you, Chad.
Too damn funny. Thank you, Chad. All right, now here's the thing. We've done the pirates. We've done the news. There's one thing left to do. It's buy, rent, or burn.
Yeah.
Buy, rent, or burn. Buy, rent, or burn.
Now, somebody explain buy, rent, or burn to Brent.
Because I have no idea. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Because it's a very complicated concept, and we explained it to Brent numerous times. He wasn't getting it.
All right.
I'm not very smart.
Here it is.
I'm not very smart.
People asks about movies, and they usually do it on our Facebook page.com/stupidformovies. Right? You know what the Facebook is?
I know what the Facebook is.
Excellent. You go on our Facebook page, you recommend a DVD that you're interested in. We're not trying to stump anybody. And you want to know if you should buy it, spend money, rent it, which nowadays is probably just streaming it on Netflix or one of those type places, Amazon maybe, or burn it, which means throw it in the fire.
Illegally rip? No. Oh.
No, not allowed. Whoa.
No. What?
What did you say? How did that even? I don't even know.
I don't know. I heard that from Mark.
We've made a mistake.
I don't.
All right, so this is all from we took a Facebook page, and then we're going to go over to the chat room as well, since we're a live show.
All right.
We have live chat. So we'll go Facebook. We'll start with the ones with the most likes. How
Okay,
about that?
here we go.
Sounds good.
Jeremy Aruda asks about, with 8 people liking it, Suspiria. Is that how I pronounce it?
Suspiria. That's the Giallo film, correct?
Yes.
Argentos.
That's Dario Argento's.
Argento's.
Dario Argento is the major Giallo filmmaker. Giallo being Italian horror. I don't like Dario Argento. I don't like any of his films. So I'm going to say that Suspiria is a burn for me because I don't like Giallo films.
Known as his greatest film.
My recollections of it, I saw this one. There are certain films maybe you see too early, if that makes sense. Like before you have developed a cultured palate. Maybe it'd be like, giving a 5th grader, no, like 6-year-old likes mustard, like Dijon mustard or something. So I remember seeing this when I was, look at this guy.
He's taken some psych.
No, I saw this film sort of too young, and so my recollections of it are being, one, freaked the hell out, because I don't think I'd ever really seen.
That's good
much.
though.
Yeah, it's a striking film. But
so when you saw it, you had a different. So what's your rating now on it then?
My rating, I'd say Rent. I'd say Rent now, but it's been a long time since I've seen it.
It reminds me of.
But it's a strong.
It reminds me when I saw the Tin Drum when I was like 8.
And it just stuck with you. It haunted you.
Yeah, it's weird. It was like on HBO, and you're like, what the?
That's a buy.
Tin Drum, yeah, Tin Drum's crazy. Okay, Michael Tran from Facebook asks about Apocalypto, with 7 people liking that suggestion.
We were talking about Mel earlier.
We were. Do we need a film where literally somehow Mel Gibson finds a way to work in a Three Stooges gag in Apocalypto?
Which one is this? Like, is that at the sacrifice?
He works in a he works in a Three Stooges gag, and then he also does that crazy thing where they trick the guy into eating the testicles of that animal. Remember that?
Right.
And you're like,
I thought that was just an outtake, but okay.
No, it's like in the film. Like they're goofing on. Oh ho ho! Og is going to eat the cow testicles.
Oh ho ho!
You're like, what?
So you're saying, if he did the Marx Brothers, maybe it would have been better. But they're Jewish, and he would have never done that.
Mel is a terrific director, and I'd have to say, Rent it.
It's a Rent for me as well. There is,
I'm walking here. No, doesn't someone say I'm walking here during that movie?
And I think you're thinking of another film.
No, I swear.
I think you're thinking
Corey,
of another film.
Apocalypto?
Yes, go to do what these kids call to Google. Go Google Apocalypto and I'm walking here. I'm telling you, he says that.
Meanwhile,
by the way, if I'm right, I get.
Did you give us a thing yet?
I gave you a Rent.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah, it's a Rent for me.
All right.
As well.
Excellent. There we go. Next one is from Jory Valent. 6 people liking this one. The Butterfly Effect.
Oh, come on. Okay, now wait a second. Did you look it up?
Yes.
Am I right or am I right?
You're right.
That's right, everybody. I got
My
it.
chief says, I am walking here.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten.
That's why I host this show.
Apparently.
That and I have no life. The two combined.
Yeah,
They combine.
Butterfly Effect for me.
Burn.
I'm going to say burn, but I'm going to qualify it and say, look, if you're interested in these sort of like, skewed perspective films, go see Wicker Park or something. Rent that. But Butterfly Effect is a burn.
Lame. It's got Ashton Kutcher. Everything with Ashton Kutcher is automatically lame.
Like 2.5
No. I love Ashton Kutcher.
Why?
Because we just live stream some stuff for his company. They're awesome. His company's great. But there is, I will say this,
So
there is actually a Butterfly Effect poster in the bathroom, in the offices, which I found a little weird.
His
But
office.
they're awesome.
Here we go.
His production company is doing some really cool stuff.
No, they're not. Okay.
No, they actually are.
No, they're not.
They are. Kevin Klee Lee, with 6 people liking this on Facebook.com/stupidformovies, asked about Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, I've got to buy that. Pan's Labyrinth.
For sure.
That's good times.
Buy.
Wait,
Labyrinth?
No, it's Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, it's just it's Pan's Labyrinth. That's wrong.
That's a buy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now there's Labyrinth, which is the other film.
Well,
which
hold
is
on.
still a buy.
Which is still a buy, right?
Watch how quickly we can change this in the TriCaster.
On the
Watch
fly,
this.
watch
This is amazing.
this.
It's not Labyrinth. It's oh god, the caps key was on. It's Pan's Labyrinth.
That's a
TriCaster.
buy.
Come on, that's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
magic.
That's why. You
And
like
by the
new
way,
tech.
I'll throw an additional buy on top of this. You know, if you're interested in that style, that type of Guillermo del Toro, something a little bit offbeat and not in his commercial wheelhouse, Kronos is an early film of
Yeah,
his.
it's an early film of his, which is also terrific.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it just was released fairly recently, I believe, on Criterion DVD.
That's right. It's a really
We're
good
gonna make
film.
an hour here. We can almost make the show an hour for the first time ever. Let's try it.
Sweet.
David Orton asked
is that a good
about
thing
the
or a bad
fall
thing?
from
It's a good thing.
the fall from Tarzan Singh.
Ah.
Tarsem Singh is a former music video director
Yes.
who did the Cell.
Yes.
That's
with
the
Jennifer
name of the guy.
Lopez.
Oh, I see.
And then he did
Fall's the
Suspect
name of the
Zero.
movie.
And then he did
Yeah.
the Fall. You know what?
Look, I'm not that bright.
He's an interesting
Well,
guy.
and in fact, the surname fell off of his name. He
Oh.
just goes by Tarsem now.
He
So-
does go
Yeah.
by Tarsem. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So
the
that is
Fall, I think he's an interesting guy. That film is not his best. I like The Cell, actually. I'd give that a rent, The Fall.
I confess I have not seen The Fall. I've seen his other films,
All right.
not that one.
Okay.
Fail.
Daniel Jansen asks about Sling Blade.
Sling
5
Blade.
people like that one. Yeah.
Now's the time for your French fried potatoes impression, Mark.
You gotta buy that. French fried potatoes.
Wow.
I've never been asked to do that. I
was
I
terrible.
just made that up right now.
Was that Gump?
I don't know what that was.
That was like drunk gump.
Gum.
Drunk gum.
I know
But-
my Halloween costume.
Buy that domain, by the way, right now. drunkgump.com. I'm getting that later tonight. It's a buy from me
That's
as
my
well.
favorite at the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. I love the drunk gump.
Anything else? Let's go.
Yes,
Come
we're
on.
going to let's go to the let's go to the Ustream chat first. Ustream
Yeah.
chat. E Alvarez 88 asked about Godfather 3.
Ooh.
Oh, you see, he's trying to mix it up with
Yeah.
the two that are masterpieces and the other one that blows. But yet you're grading on a curve. So the fact is that Godfather 3 is still better than 99% of the films that came out that year. But compared to Godfather 1 and 2, it's like eating dog vomit. So
How do you know that?
how do you
How do you possibly know that?
How do you say that? I mean, what do you
Godfather
say
4,
with that?
Ashton Kutcher.
The Godfather effect with Ashton Kutcher. So you know what? I'm gonna say. I mean, what do you say? Do you say the movie? Oh, that's a tough one.
Well, it's interesting
terrible.
because you're sort of all in.
You are all in.
You're so all in based on those first two that I can't conceive of the person that is like Godfather 1, Godfather 2. You know, I didn't really hear that many good things about Godfather 3. I think I'm going to stop here. I'm going to push back.
So you're saying it's like Clone Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a buy.
You're
It's a
gonna
buy
have
for
to
me.
buy it just because
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
see it,
'Cause
but it's not good.
It comes in a package. IMJC28 asks about Falling Down.
I like that movie a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a Joel Schumacher film. It's a great on Blu-ray, by the way. There's a new Blu-ray came out about 6 months ago. It's terrific. I like that film a lot. Michael Douglas great in it.
It's one of Michael Douglas's best haircuts in film. I think we can agree on that. Yeah, it's a buy for me as well. It really captures that sort of bubbling rage that exists in the all-white guys. Because, God, they have such difficult lives, right? We do,
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
hard. It's hard.
It's hard being white.
Yeah.
It's hard out there for a white person.
You were doing a movie.
I was trying to think of jokes.
It's
and
hard
I
out there for a
so,
pimp.
I just can't think of any jokes at
Okay,
all.
here we go. Next.
Yeah,
Come on, I got hit in the head, obviously. I got hit in the
I was
head.
like the leaf
There's
blower.
something going
was,
on.
The leaf blower was
Oh,
really loud
excuses,
today.
excuses.
There's my white guy problem. The leaf blower.
There you go.
really
Yeah,
loud.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That may be an
D.N.
exciting
Arrington
answer to
asked
that.
about Black Sheep.
Oh,
Black Sheep. You know what? That's not my favorite Chris Farley film, but
Wait, nope, wrong movie.
Beverly Hills Ninja?
Sorry, nope. He's asking about the 2006 horror film called Black Sheep.
No!
can I talk about the Chris Farley one?
Yeah, we'd rather talk about
Because
that.
I
think.
have to say that I love Tommy Boy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. For sure. I'm
2006
with you.
Black Sheep. You want to know that? All right, so get rid of 2006. Watch this. Here we go. TriCaster in action. Watch this. Sorry, D.N. Arrington. We're going to take away your 2006 and
Gonna go
pretend that's
back
Black
in
Sheep, the other movie. It's the
time.
comedy movie Black Sheep.
Yes,
Go.
Rent. Although it's not funny.
Why would you rent it then?
No,
because it's Chris Farley and he's
Chris
dead.
Farley's never funny.
Look,
no, Tommy Boy is really good.
I think you could go buy, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe there is the DVD combo pack of Tommy Boy and Black Sheep.
Oh, you didn't
My
know that.
understanding, there's a DVD combo pack of Black Sheep with Black Sheep the horror film.
There really should
I'm looking
be.
for that.
I think
There really should
They
be.
have that. I'm in.
Yeah.
D.A. Arrington.
Rubber of its day.
Oh my God, 3 seconds to. We're not. We went over an hour.
Oh,
There we go.
Good night,
From
everybody.
The YouTube
Good night.
chat, youtube.com/streaminggarage. We are live on there as well, and they featured us #1 today. So thank you very much, YouTube.
Nice.
We appreciate it. And Google, who owns YouTube. Cage Kev Sama.
Oh, we were done. I thought he was saying
asked
goodbye.
about Kill Bill. Last one. Kill Bill from YouTube Live.
Kill
Good
Bill.
from YouTube Live or featured.
Now the thing with Kill Bill, which is a buy, but for me it's a buy. But when really, you don't like Kill Bill?
Hold on, let him get to it. You got to.
It's a buy.
All right.
No, I'm saying that there's a we're hoping for the Tarantino Blu-ray of the Kill Bill.
Right.
Epic is what they.
Kill Bill though is it's orgiastic excess run amok. Look, I feel like Kill Bill was organized as one just damn intervention, like a cinematic intervention by the brothers Weinstein to get Quentin Tarantino off his ass and back making movies, and that's all fine and well, but it doesn't have a sort of coherent point of view, and so it's just like he regurgitated all this stuff. It's one vomitous pile of a script, all these ideas, and then that's why it became 2 movies. And I agree with you. There's some really bravura filmmaking. There's some interesting stuff in there. Uma Thurman gives a great performance, but no, it's a rent barely for me because
controversial.
Because there's interesting stuff in there, but it does not hold together as a single
Are
film.
you okay with that, Mark?
It's a Brent.
Deb's fighting words.
Hey!
That is like fanboy ground zero right there. We talk about Tarantino and Kill Bill. That is good
Bring
times.
it.
Huh?
Bring it.
Oh, I can see the YouTube comments already.
Yeah.
Here's what I love.
There's good stuff in there. It's just
I've said this
doesn't
to
hold
Wade.
together.
I've said this on the show. The reason why I love Tarantino, even when he's not up to snuff, is the same reason why I love Robert Rodriguez, who annoys the crap out of me, which is the same reason why I love Woody Allen, by the way, which is the same reason why I love Terrence Malick. Where am I going with this? You're asking.
You're losing
I'm going to tell you.
You're losing me.
Is because they are 4 directors. I did say 4. Right? They're 4 directors who you get the sense that they do whatever they want.
Right.
No studio interference.
Right.
No notes.
Right.
No, there's no 28-year-old
That isn't always a good
development
thing.
executive.
I don't disagree with you, but that's not always a good thing. Witness Sucker Punch. Okay.
No, but but the thing is that Zack Snyder sucks, right? These are guys where you can you trust their aesthetic
That doesn't mean
sensibility.
that doesn't mean they're incapable of making a bad movie. Though.
That's true, but you know what? I feel like
it's an interesting film, but that doesn't mean they can't make a bad film.
True, but if they make a bad film, at least I feel like that bad film came directly from them. It was their sensibility that didn't work for me. It's not like it was compromised and re-edited and gotten a bunch of notes and you wind up with a thing that isn't what the director wanted. If it's going to be bad, I want it to be bad knowing it is exactly the vision that the director had.
Right.
You know, like Sucker Punch, I know now that I hate Zack Snyder even more than I ever thought I would.
There you go.
Because that film was all him.
Yeah.
So now I know that he just blows always from Tuesday.
He's someone who should not be allowed near a script for whatever movie he's directing.
And it can be argued that he hasn't been.
Well, I think he was very much allowed near the script with Sucker Punch. I mean, that was his dream project, et cetera, et cetera. So,
and you know what? It's, by the way, just before we wrap it up.
I was going to take one more, actually.
Oh.
Well, it's YouTube Live. These people came to watch you on YouTube, and they're subscribing. And it's all new, and they're featuring us. Like, this is a big deal. YouTube Live is a big deal, and we've been featured since day 1. So we got to take one more from them.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Hello, Chris Thompson on YouTube asks about Badlands.
You got to live them every day. Let your broken heart stand for the price you got to pay. Keep pushing until it's understood, and those Badlands start treating you good.
Wow.
Is it Maya Angelou?
Wow.
It's Bruce Springsteen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Badlands. Terrence Malick, buy it 17 times. Terrence
Yes.
Malick, buy it.
Beautiful film.
Terrence Malick has
beautiful
done like
film.
5 films in 40 years.
It's a buy for me as well, yeah.
You know, and each one is.
But he's really picking up the pace now. I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
You know what? He waited
didn't do
20
a film
years
for 20 years. Yeah.
between Days of Heaven.
Yeah.
And Thin Red Line.
Yeah.
Now you got Thin Red Line. You got The New World.
Yep.
You've got Tree of Life, which premiered in Cannes. And by the way, rumor has it that his latest film, which stars Ben Affleck, which is really scary, he's already
And Rachel Weisz.
He's already shot it.
Yeah.
He's already shot. He's editing it.
Yep.
Now, by the way, just because Terrence Malick has started editing a film, that doesn't mean it's coming out like in the next 6 months.
Right.
He could be editing it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Literally.
He probably will be.
You know?
I mean, I don't know if there's, you know, CGI and dinosaurs in this one. It sounds like probably not, but...
well, what I'm hoping is that he edits it for 2 years, then he decides that Ben Affleck can't act.
Ooh.
And he reshoots the whole film with somebody else.
With Shane West, is what you're saying.
With Shane, exactly. All right, is that it, Producer Mike?
That is it. Don't forget to go to the iTunes. All you gotta do is iTunes, search Stupid for Movies, and please feel free to also search Super Scary Horror Theater. Why don't you add both of them? That would be great and help us a lot. Otherwise, go to streaminggarage.com and you can kind of see everything. And Roku within the next week or two. I'm actually flying to New York to talk at Blog World. So if you're in New York, feel free to come to Blog World on Wednesday, May 25th. And I'll be discussing how we're on Roku and kind of demonstrating it as well.
Look at that. And by the way, one last thing. Thank you, Brent Simon, everybody. Brent Simon. Thank you for sitting in for our rant monkey, Wade Major. All right, everybody, that's it. Thanks to the crew. Good night.
Thanks.
And nail down the set.